and say, hey Mike, I'm canceling Ambit, on you and your kids, and I'm going with somebody else. Plus she's a loyal customer. I go to all if I showed you, I don't know if I have it one here, but I get customers like, it's so simple. I don't talk about rates. Once you talk about rates, people start weighing their options. Well, I've been with Eversource or CLMP for this amount of time. I think I'm just going to stay there. I know you're telling me it's a 5% savings, a 10% savings. I'm just going to stay where I am. I've been there for 30 years, and I'm not going to touch it. And they don't do it. And even if you do get them, now most people really never even knew what rates were. People just get the bill, they pay the bill. Now, once you start bringing up the rates, now they're going to be rate watchers. They're going to watch that rate all the time. So now you give them a rate of whatever, I don't know, let's say 10.2. As soon as they go and see somebody else mail them something in the mail who's 9.9, they're leaving you. Even though that's your brother, he's leaving you because you never made it about you and his relationship. You never made it about that's going to help you accomplish your why. My mom, my sister, my friends will never, ever, ever leave me. They did it. They didn't do it because of Ambit. They did it because of me and my children. That's why they did it. So I don't even have a clue what the rates are. I just make it about me. And I just ask for help. I share my story with all of them. I tell them it really means a lot to me. I really appreciate this. If you ever need anything, I'm always here for you. And I get everybody. Everybody. But now, I approach everybody for the business. I don't go after customers. If they say no to the business, then I get them as a customer. I'll tell you a story. I had a guy signed up, probably 6 years ago. I didn't know who he was. He signed up in my downline. So the guy lived right near my ice cream store. So he signed up. I got an email, so I gave the guy a welcome call. And I said to him, hey, what are you doing tomorrow morning? I have some time. You want to come by my Carvel store? We'll go over some stuff. I'll show you how to enroll your customers, get you going. He says, yeah, sure. I live right around the corner. So I said, all right, bring your electric bill, your gas bill, and we'll get those enrolled. But I said, also make a list of people for Ambit, people you're thinking about for Ambit. So the guy came the next day to the store. So I must have spoke to him, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night. He came the next morning. So 13 hours later, the guy came. He had a list. He had loose leaf paper. It was 7 pages, front and back. Every single line was full. So many names on this list. But then I looked, he had 2 lists. One list had 9 names, and one list had 7 pages front and back. So I said, why do you have 2 lists? He goes, well, one's customers and one's consultants. So me, I'm thinking the 7, 8 people were customers, and the other 700 were consultants. He goes, no, the other way around. I thought the 7, 8 people was going to be like his Aunt Tilly, who was 100, his great-grandpa, who was 99 years old. He goes, no, these 9 people are going to become the consultants. These other 700 are going to become the customers. I said, so you don't think, out of all these 700 names, that nobody wants to make extra money? No, they won't. I know them all well, but these 9 people will do it. Now I show everybody the business. From learning my mistakes, getting back to another thing, where I was selective maybe the first week in the business, where I was thinking, okay, he'll be good, he's just going to become a customer. By getting responses from people and getting shocked on people that I would bet money this guy would not join Ambit, they're the first ones to join. People that I thought for sure would join didn't join. So it just made me realize I have to show everybody. I say, I'm not God, so I shouldn't be judging. I give every person a fair and equal chance to look at this. I let them tell me it's not for me. Whether I think it's for them or not, I show everybody as a consultant. They say no to the consultant, then I get them as a customer. So getting back to this guy, he had a list of all these people. So I go down the list, and I said, what about this guy? Nah, he won't do it. He's a very successful doctor. What about this guy? Oh, he's a very successful business person. So I want to hear his reasons why these people won't. And I'm thinking, these are the best people, business owners, successful people, credibility, and he's telling me they won't do it. So it's funny, then he gets down the list, and he gets like 10 names down. He sees one name here. I said, why won't this guy do it? Oh, this guy's a multi-millionaire. He owns several businesses. He owns all these rental properties, residential, commercial. He makes a ton of money. He's always doing things with the kids. I'm like, well, that sounds like the guy I want to go after. He's like, no, he'll never do it. And I said, I'm telling you, man, this is the guy you want to target. Successful business people, know how to make money, they want more of it, they have good contacts, good credibility. That's the guy we gotta target. No, he won't do it, he won't do it, he won't do it. I'm like, please, just forget it, let's go approach this guy, we'll get it. No, 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 I refuse to do it, he'll probably laugh at Ambit. So as he's telling me this, I start pulling up my computer, and I say, how well do you know this guy? He goes, oh, I know him really well. I said, well, not well enough. He's like, what do you mean? I turn my computer to him. So you see that guy? He's a regional consultant in my business. I know him too. I was just testing you to see what you said. He's one of the first guys I went to. I showed him, he signed up on the spot. He got the regional in like 4 days. I'm just trying to teach the guy to start, you can't think like that. You gotta show this to everybody. So he said the guy would never do it and laugh at it. Meanwhile, I showed that guy, he signed up right away. And on his credibility, people are just joining left and right. So never prejudge, show every single person you possibly can. Because believe me, it stinks when you show up to a meeting and the guy you thought wouldn't do it, or a woman is there at that meeting with somebody else. And it's happened to me. I've seen it with somebody on my list. It's another thing, somebody was on my list that I never had a chance to get to yet, but somebody else got them first. And I go to a meeting every day, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I would just move this quicker, I wish I would have more time for this, I would have got to them. You know? Because listen, there's only, it's like a pie, right? You're in Connecticut, this is the Connecticut pie. There's only so many people and everybody's going after the same people. So you want to get as much of that pie as possible before somebody else does. You want them in your team. So if you sit there and say, oh, I got my one for today, let me just stop and relax. You get guys like Glenn or someone that's going out there trying to get everybody. So just don't be satisfied, just keep going. I just think it's too good to just take it lightly. You know, it's crazy stuff that could happen from this business. But you gotta treat it like a business too. That's why I did good. I didn't treat it like, when people tell me, oh, I'll give it a try, like, don't even bother. Become my customer, but you're not gonna do this. You gotta go out there and know that if it doesn't work, we gotta figure out what to do. Don't just give up on it. Make it work. You know, anybody can, I say it, anybody can do this business. If you are humble, if you're coachable, if you can commit a handful of hours every week and do it consistently. You can't work this business hot and cold. Okay, I work it hard this week and then stop for a week. Work it hard for a month, stop for a month. You're better off being warm than being hot and cold. Just, listen, you don't have to put in 50 hours a week. If you can do 5 hours, 7 hours every week consistently, I'd rather that than 20 hours than nothing. 20 hours, nothing. Because you're gonna get going, and then you're gonna stop. Your team's gonna get going, and they're gonna stop. Just do consistency is what will really keep you going in this business. Always do a little bit, and just teach your team that. Don't be hot and cold, just be warm. Be warm all the way, you know.
That's the biggest takeaway I got from that vision. I was talking to somebody.
Yeah.
We're doing this for 4 years, going like this, you know, peaks and troughs. Because what happens is, just like you pointed out, you go on a recruiting spree, you start working with those people, we kind of slow down a little bit, and all of a sudden those people slow down, some come to a dead halt, and then we got to go out and recruit again.
Yeah,
so you want to stay warm all the time.
Yeah, and your team will do the same thing. They'll be hot and cold. Your team will go at the pace of its leader pretty much.
Can you give just 2 examples of how you make the segue? One with your consultant, when you're with somebody, a consultant with the prospect, and one when you do it yourself on business is not for them, and okay, default to the customer.
Yeah, listen, it's easy for my prospect for me to shut the computer, walk away, you know. And even when I go, if I go with Pat or something on an appointment, and if I shut the computer on somebody and walk away, it's only for his good anyway. I'm trying to teach him the right way. You know, I do, I don't know, I'm always shown, I know halfway through the presentation if they're doing it or not. I would bet money on it, just from seeing so many presentations, watching people's body language, seeing what questions that they have, seeing their excitement level. I want to get them in, and I want to help the person that I'm along there with as much as I can. But sometimes there's times where I told the guy, I don't know if it was Pat, but I've told people this isn't for you. You know, I tell my guy afterwards, listen, that guy's just gonna waste your time, waste my time. He's gonna be a cancer and just cause problems. It's not work. You don't want that guy around you, me, or our team. You know, let's just get him as a customer. beginning, I was trying to grab everybody I can, but I realized, Ray Momby said in the beginning, like, there's people that that want to join, I don't let them join. Like, why not? But I realize that now, what he was talking about years ago, was as your team gets bigger and bigger, your time can only be spent in so many areas. So you don't want somebody wasting your time with other people who are, this guy drove to ambition from Connecticut. So, that's why how long are you in now?
3 years.
3 years. So he just made senior recently. I see his commitment level. I'm going to help him. I don't care if it took him 10 years to get to senior. As long as he's committed to doing it, I'm here all the time. If I leave an appointment and I have 20 missed phone calls, I don't care if he's the 20th guy to call. It's not just, I have a bunch of people that are committed. I'll go and call, even though 19 people called ahead of him, I'm going to call him back first. Because he's committed to doing it. He drove to ambition. He does everything I tell him to do. He hasn't landed anything that really exploded yet, but I know he will. And I always say it's all practice until you get to senior consultant. Then is when it really starts counting. So these 3 years for him has been a learning experience, and I think he's just going to explode it to executive and to national. But I do things that are going to help him. So if I have to tell him, hey, listen, this is the best for us and the team, let's just get that guy as a customer.
Well, what do you say specifically? Let's say you had that prospect there.
Right.
You watch the video. You can tell that they're not interested in doing the business. What do you say? Do you go through the thing? Hey, we see yourself more as a consultant or a customer? Because
I'll just answer this. I mean, I know based on their reaction watching the video, I can tell from my initial conversation talking to them. But then I'll say, does it make sense? I'll do the same thing. Does it make sense to you? Yes, it makes sense. Would you like best? If they're giving me a positive response and nothing negative, then I'll keep going. Well, hey, let's get you going. But if they start saying, I don't know about this, I said, well, great. Listen, this isn't for everybody. Pat and I do appreciate you coming out and taking time to look at it. I understand, but at least, I would become a customer for Pat. You've seen all the benefits in the video. It would really help him. It would really help Pat out. Share the person's why a little bit. It would really mean a lot to him. And, I know when I first started, a lot of my family and friends became my customer to help me out. And I know you're good friends with Pat. So, becoming the customer, I know he would really appreciate it because I appreciated it when my friends became customers for me. It meant a lot to me, and I know it would mean a lot to him. You gotta guilt people sometimes.
Right.
My friend Vinny's like, my dad, I tried to get him, he won't do it. He's an Italian guy off the boat. He won't do it no matter what. Get me on the phone. You're not gonna. I said, just get me on the phone with the guy. I'm gonna get him. He said, you do this, I'll be blown away. Sure enough, I got his dad as a customer. I basically said, listen, your son is working. He's going to school still. He's working his job. He has a DJ company on the side. He's trying to better himself. He's going to get married and start a family. I said, when I first started this business, I was working a lot. My dad and my parents, they did it to help me out, to have a better life with my family. It meant a lot to me, and they did it to help me out. I says, wouldn't you rather help out your own son than helping Con Edison? He's your son. So let's say I said to the guy, well, let's say your bill right now is $100 a month. Let's say your bill's not going to be a penny higher or a penny lower. There's no savings. It's the same bill. Wouldn't you rather help out your own son than help out Con Edison? My dad helped me. I know it meant the world to me, and he did it for me. So I pretty much guilted the guy. It's like, how do you say no? So I didn't talk about savings. I said, your bill is $100. How much is your bill? Oh, about $100. Okay. Let's say it's not going to be not even a penny lower or a penny higher. Same thing. You're telling me you wouldn't rather help out your son than help out CLMP or Eversource. All right. You're right.
But you can't say that to strangers.
My friend's dad, I never met his father, but that's why I said it.
Right, but you were working for him.
But you don't need to get,
Like,
20 is the most you need. I've gotten 700 and something, now 752, this guy. But I get them because I show people the presentation, and then they're not getting, they're doing something. They're either a consultant or a customer. So that's how I get a lot of customers. I'm a fallback. I always approach consultant first, customer second, but I've always asked for help. one of my good friends, I said to him, hey, I need you to help me out, become a customer of mine. It means a lot to me. You're gonna help me get out of these other businesses. I said, it's important, I need you to do me a favor. He's like, oh, what type of favor? What do you mean? He really wasn't committing to it. And I was shocked because I did a lot for him. And I said to him, I said, do you remember the time a few years ago that you were out to dinner with your girlfriend in Jersey and you just went out afterwards, had some drinks, and you guys got into an argument and she threw you out of the car? I was like, yeah, I remember that day. It was raining out. I said, how'd you get home? He goes, oh, didn't I call you? Yeah, you called me.
You did that for 4 years.
I said, who got out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, drove to Jersey in the rain to pick you up when I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning? I said, when you were in trouble and you needed me, I came there for you. I'm not asking you to spend any money. I'm asking you to help me out, become a customer. It means a lot to me. He's like, all right, I get your point. He goes, you're good. And he became a customer. My customer now for 7 years and whatever it's been. But and guys, anybody that you pay money to better be your customer. My barber, I went to my barber. I was going to the guy for probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, whatever it was. And he was cutting my hair all the time. So I went to him first on the business. He said no to the business. I can't force you to become a consultant. Showed it to him. So then I said, well, hey, listen, at least become a customer of mine. I've been your loyal customer every week. I give you a $10 tip. I take care of you. 15 plus the tip. I give him $25 every week I go. And I said, I've been your customer, so be. He goes, oh, let me go talk to the wife. Okay, next time back. My wife and I decided we're not going to do it. I said, I've been coming to you for all these years. I give you a $10 tip every single week. I'm not asking you to spend any money. I'm just asking you to become my customer. I'm your customer. I like you to be my customer. He says, no, we're not going to. So I appreciate you cutting my hair all these years. I'm going to do business with people that do business with me. Never went back ever again. Went to the next guy, he became a consultant. Found a total stranger. I didn't go to somebody else. I went to a completely different guy. He became a consultant, became his own customer, his house, his shop. He ended up moving somewhere else. So then I found another barber, he became a consultant too. If you do the same thing and go to the same places, you're gonna run into the same people. Change things up. Do something different. So I've been to several barbers, got 2 consultants out of them, 2 new people. You know, that's what I do. I just find ways to get creative to meet people. Always, all my kids' events, talking to different parents. So when I go, I still to this day don't like going up to somebody and trying to pitch them. I still don't feel that comfortable doing that. So I don't do that. I go into Boy Scouts and meet other parents. I go in there just trying to make a friend. Get the person to like me first. Find out about them and what they do and their personality type. Then it makes my ambit way easier going in. Because now I have all my ammunition going in. Because if I'm just taking a guess, okay, that guy looks like he's a sea urchin, but maybe he's not. You know, I don't know what he does for a living. I don't know if he's a millionaire but once I get to know them, get them to like me, I know about them, it just makes my recruiting process so much easier. I'll just tell you a story. I just recruited a guy just the other day. I went out with my girl to dinner. After dinner, I went to the bar, grabbed a drink. One of my other friends walked in, and the guy next to me, he said, my girl's pregnant with twins. He says, oh, congratulations. A complete stranger. Oh, thank you very much. And I just started talking to the guy. Complete stranger sitting there at the bar, just talking. Oh, what's your name? Oh, Danny. What's your name? Mike. Talking. So, just, oh, is this? I said, is this your normal hang? I haven't been to that place in a while. So is this your normal hang? Oh, my friend's the bartender here, and I come in, I see her, and I live over here. And oh, so what do you do for a living? Tell him everything he did. He lost his business because his ex-partner screwed something up, and now he's working in a restaurant, busting tables and all this stuff. He's like, but I really want to get back into the business world. And so I just listen. I'm a very good listener. I do more listening than I do talking. I ask questions. I show interest in people. I let them talk about themselves. And I let them talk and talk until he told me everything about him, everything. And I never mentioned me or what I do at all. And then eventually he came back to me and said, well, what do you do? I mentioned I used to have I had a mortgage company, I had a credit company, I had Carvel ice cream stores, and now I said, well, really, now I have one ice cream store and I have a part-time energy business, and I went back to him. I went back to him and how hey, I think this business that you're thinking about is a good idea, not a good idea. I just showed interest in him. Said, hey, can I get your number? You're a great guy to talk to. He called me the next day, hey, can we get together? I want to just talk to you and pick your brain a little bit more. Sure, we'll meet at Panera Bread. Met at Panera Bread, talked to him a little bit about what he was doing and how he wanted, and I complimented. I said, listen, he was 30. I said, I like seeing how people are, thinking out of the box, thinking entrepreneurial, and not just having a 9-to-5 job that you have your blinders on, and this is what life's given me. I like seeing how you're looking to do something better for yourself. And I like that. So I compliment the guy, and sure enough, I met him the next day, talked to him a little bit, said, tell me what you're doing. Showed him the presentation, and that was it, done deal. This was a complete stranger. So I sold myself to him. It wasn't nothing about Ambit. I didn't mention Ambit till the next day, really. But it was all about me. Showing interest in that person. You guys ever attend like networking functions or anything like that? Now, you've got to know what you do, but I don't go to many. I'm very busy as it is, and I still can't even get through my list, let alone going to networking things. But I've been to a couple, and just if I can give you a tip with that. Most people go to networking functions and they're like they're trying to talk about themselves and what they do to everybody. Hey, I'm Mike, I'm with Carvel Ice Cream, and we get the best soft serve ice cream, and they're trying to sell them, oh, I work real estate for this company. If I go to a networking group or any function where there's other people there, I talk nothing about me. Nothing. Every person in that networking group is trying to talk about themselves and what company they're with, or what service they have, or what they provide. That's all they're doing. So everybody in that group, so if I walk into a networking group, I might have 100 people come up to me and say, oh, here's my card, I do real estate, here's my card, I do auto sales, I do insurance, I do mortgages, I have 1,000 cards of all these people telling me what they do. What I do is I go up to somebody, hey, John, Mike, Obay, nice to meet you. So, John, what do you do? Oh, I do real estate. Oh, really? So how long have you been doing that? Oh, I've been doing it for 10 years now. Oh, well, awesome. You love it? Yeah, I love it. This is the way you're doing is real estate. Oh, I do it in Staten Island, So what do you mainly deal with? Residential, commercial? Oh, mostly residential, but some commercial, I said, awesome. What company do you work for? Awesome. And great. So you mainly deal with buyers or sellers? Oh, and let them talk. Let them talk all about it. I said, dude, you seem like a real good guy, a real sharp guy. I said, listen, I know a lot of people. You have a card. So next time I hear somebody talking about real estate, I could definitely send you a referral. You seem like a guy that I would send somebody to. Never mention what I do at all. It's all about that person. So now, even if I don't mention Ambit at all, I don't care. I'm just going in to make a relationship. So now that guy, John, did the networking function for 3 hours. He had 99 people trying to tell him about what they do, but yet I'm the only guy who was interested in what he does and how I could help him. So now I got his card. I might go on back to the next guy. He's going to remember me. I stand out. Every other person trying to pitch him and sell him, I'm the only guy saying, how can I help you? So now I try to talk to him about something I'm doing. I have his attention so much. But eventually it's going to come back, say, hey, he's probably going to say, hey, it's rude of me. I didn't even ask you what you did for a living. And now it's like, I have his guard down. People have a defense shield around them. And right away, people's natural reaction is, I don't care what you're selling, I'm not buying. Right? You walk around this hotel, there's probably somebody out there trying to sell you a timeshare or something, right? And right away, you're like, oh, you walk in, you see the lady sitting there with like a brochure. Like, oh, you just want to walk past her, right? And that's people's natural reaction. They don't like to be sold. So I try to get people's guard down, make them feel comfortable. And when they can ask you questions about what you do, it's so much easier. And I always mention my current occupation first. So if I'm talking to this person and they call me up the next day or later on and say, hey, it was rude, man, I didn't even ask what you do. Or anybody I talk to, at a kid's softball game or basketball or Cub Scouts, I always mention what I do first. I say, I own a Carvel ice cream store and I have a part-time energy business. Those words have helped me recruit so many people, part-time business, part-time energy business. Because if I just go to somebody and say, hey, I have a full-time business with Ambit, they're thinking, well, oh, I can't even, they're not even thinking it as a possibility for them. By me saying I own an ice cream store and I have a part-time energy business, there's now an opportunity for them because, hey, if he's doing something part-time, so can I. So if you're in law enforcement, oh, I've been a police officer, you know, with the state of Connecticut, and I have a part-time energy business, that person's thinking, well, hey, if he's a full-time police officer and he has something part-time, so could I. You know, and they could then start visualizing themselves doing something. You see the difference from just saying I have an energy business versus I have a part-time. So mention your current occupation first, no matter what it is. I'm a hairstylist and I have a part-time energy business. I'm a police officer, part-time energy. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have a part-time energy business. That person's starting to visualize themselves. Well, I could do something part-time. You know, if he's doing something, so could I. Yeah.
So once you've collected these other people's contact information and you've let them talk about themselves, what is your follow-up approach to them?
It all depends. Everything is, every situation I think is different. I mean, I could really just call them up the next day and say, hey, John, it's Michael. I met you yesterday. I was the guy talking to you, you know, about all the real estate, what you do. He's going to remember me. He's going to remember me more than any person there because I was asking the most questions and people like to talk about themselves and he was talking all about himself. So I can just come straight out and ask him and I'll definitely get his attention at that point. I'll say, listen, I know we were busy yesterday. I was really interested in what you were doing with yours, but you know, I was at the event, so I was a guest of so and so. You know, I say, listen, I own a Carvel store on Airport Road in Staten Island. I've been doing that for 15 years. But besides that, I have a part-time energy business, and you know that I'm real excited about. I've been doing it a couple of years now, and I really just ask them, do you keep your options open and looking at new opportunities? I know you do well in real estate, but there's a lot of other real estate agents that I work with that are also doing something part-time, and I'm just trying to find out if they're open at that point. I don't always rush into it. If I know I'm going to maybe see that person again at another event the next week, I might wait till a better opportunity comes up sometimes and try to let it come up in a conversation. There's different ways of doing it. When you have a huge list and you're constantly meeting people, I don't always, if I think I'm going to see them again, I don't have to rush and invite. I'd rather take sometimes more of a strategic approach. I want them to ask me what I do for a living. That's what I want out of every conversation I have. No matter where I go, father-daughter dance, anything for my kids, I'm always talking to parents, and I'm always asking questions about them. I want them to say, what do you do for a living? I want to get their guard down first, get them to like me, get them to trust me, find out about them, find out about their personality types and what they do. It just gives me more ammunition to when I talk to them. That's why my numbers are so high, my closing ratios, because I know so much stuff on people. The more I know about them, the easier it is. I was thinking about, if I could look through a guy that I think has just a regular job, but the guy's a multi-millionaire, that I think the guy is a shark and he's a dolphin, and I mix up all the approaches, it'll never work. But if I go in knowing exactly what he does, how much money he makes, if he has a big circle of influence, what his personality type is a very 70% chance I'll probably get the guy. What else?
Would you use texting to communicate with people?
Never.
Okay.
Never. I know some people have taught some stuff on texting. I don't like it at all because through texting or emailing, it's so easy for a person to tell you no. It's much harder for somebody to tell you no face to face or over a phone than through a text. You know, you might text somebody, hey, I started a new business, and you check it out, you don't hear from them. Thinking, oh, maybe he didn't get the text. No, he got the text. They're just ignoring it. They're ignoring it. So now, you don't know what their response is. That's one of the things in my do's and don'ts I have somewhere. Do not text, do not email. It's based on personal relationships, personal invitations to people. It's just going to give me the very low percentage of success, and I won't do that. I do the things that give you the highest percentage of success, always. who here does, like with local meetings? Does anybody do part of the presentations, intros, testimonials?
Yeah.
You do? Anybody else? I think that's great. That's when my really business started taking off. When Raymond told me, like, you're doing well, but when you get up in front of the room and your team can come there and you're the guy speaking and your team can bring the people over to you, it really helps your business. So it's just becoming more of like a leader. People viewing you as a leader will really help your business over time. You know, if you have a meeting where you can, I mean, like just doing a test, like I just started off giving a testimonial, just giving a little 1 minute, 2 minute talk on myself, and then it just turned into more presenting and stuff. I mean, now I'm presenting, training. So I know a lot of meetings that if it's a big meeting, you probably got to be a senior or something or an executive to stop talking to them who's there. But even doing small little things just gives you more confidence. Even doing an in-home, in-homes are great. I think in-homes are one of the best things out there to building something quick. More people are, it's easy for people to get prospects to their house than it is to a hotel meeting. That's how I really built my business in the beginning, was really just in-home meetings. Saturday mornings, one house, Saturday afternoon, somebody else's house, Sunday morning, somebody's house. And I was doing those before I even did any other like hotel meeting or anything. The in-homes, I would just, hey, you know, thank you for coming. I know you guys are all guests of Bob or whatever. And you know, my name is Mike Obay, and I just told my story quick. I might have touched on some facts about, you know, hey, we just won the fastest growing company in America, here's Inc. magazine. I would tell my story, touch on some credibility facts, tell them to put on a video, and that just helped me overcome some fears just by talking with that at little in-home meetings. That just gave me more confidence than to speak in front of larger audiences and stuff like that. But if you have a chance to start speaking somewhere, do it. Definitely do it, because your team will view you more as a leader. You know, they'll start identifying you as more of a leader. And that's what you really want to build in turn. You want to build leaders. You have a whole bunch of people, but you need eventually leaders to step up. You know, you got to think like, okay, if I quit Ambit now, do I have enough leaders in place on my team that if I walked away, my team will keep growing at the rate or more than it's grown? You know, and once you have enough leaders, then that's possible. If you don't have enough leadership, you could walk away and your team can just fall apart. So you want to become a leader and eventually create leaders to do what you're doing. So any chance you have at speaking or a testimonial, I would tell you to do it. Or start doing in-homes. If you're not doing them already, just speak to the audience. Just speak for a little bit. And that'll really help your business as well.
With in-homes, Mike, do you think that it's easier just to have everybody sit down and watch the video, or let's say if I'm giving an in-home to go there and do a presentation?
I mean, there's times I went to Pat's house, there's times I played the video, there's times where I gave a PowerPoint. I hooked up my laptop to the TV screen with a HDMI wire and with a remote.
I mean, I've done them all, and I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the only way I did the PowerPoint, because they're all his prospects, and I am going there as an expert in the company. If he was doing it at home by himself with all his friends, I'm definitely telling him to show the video.
Right.
But if I come there as the guy in the magazine, 7 years national, I'm saying I'm an expert at this. This is why I'm giving this talk. You know, this is not normally what you would be doing. You know, and in my presentation, I tell people it's all about just getting people to watch a 20-minute video, and that's what I'll tell them. You know, I'll say normally this is not what we do, but because I drove 2 hours to come in Connecticut, I'm going to give you guys a talk on a PowerPoint presentation. Normally, I would just show people a video, you know, but I'll give you guys a talk. And so if it's him doing it himself, showing a video. If you go there for your team, you can do a PowerPoint, for sure.
Right.
I mean, so Brian McClure still teaches just to show the video, even if you're going there. But listen, when Brian McClure goes to your house and doing it home, it don't matter what he does, because when they say did you say that guy's making $700,000 a month? Okay. Yeah, all right. So Brian could show the video, Brian could show a Spanish video to a woman, and the people are probably gonna wanna do it based on that.
Yeah, I mean, the missing piece for me is normally this is not what I do or how I do it, because by explaining that, okay, it gives me that leeway to let them know what I'm doing is not duplicatable, but here's, here I am, or whatnot for you guys, and blah, 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 so, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I tell them. Any other questions?
Okay, well,
That's it? Yeah.
Mike, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll have that new video up sometime today.
Okay.
So you guys want to have a fun, AmbitEnergyPromotion.com. It'll be a PowerPoint, 30-minute video. And it says on the video now, it's free to join until November 20th. And
The CD you hand out, do you hand out your own CD or the one from the magazine?
no, I don't.
That's your own CD?
Yeah, my own CD. Well, I used to just hand out whatever company video there was.
So the ones in your magazine, are those your?
Yeah, no, those are the company ones there. But if I get somebody now, I don't think I have any on me, but I'll give them the video of me. Video of me.
We could go back and use the one that's free now, that you did prior, right?
Yeah, but now that is November, I say now, the one I made last night,
Oh.
it says November 20th, free
Oh, okay.
on it.
The other one says February 13th.
Oh, yeah, it had dates on it.
Yeah, it had dates on it.
Dates on it, it's time to do a free promotion.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to do the whole thing over, because I do mention, even in this new video, it'll say February 13th somewhere, a few times in the video. But when you get to the money, it says normally it's $400, but right now it's free until November 20th. And at the end, I mentioned February 13th again. But there was just so many times that they kept changing the promotion, extending it. It takes hours to go and do all that, edit it and all that stuff.